When I refused to give my in-laws money, my husband sneered, "It's your duty to support my family. If you won't, I'll take everything you own." His father nodded and handed him a legal document. I chuckled and said, "You might want to read the fine print first." His hands shook as he realized what I had done. I met Jason, not his real name, when I was 27. He was 30, charming, funny, and made me feel like I was the most important person in the world. I was already a lawyer, building a career in Manhattan, and he worked in marketing. At first, I didn't mind that he made less than me. I wasn't the type to care about income differences as long as both partners were contributing. And for the first 2 years, he did. We split rent, we took turns paying for dinner, and everything felt balanced. But then things started to shift. Jason began making little comments. "I work so hard, but I barely make a dent compared to what you bring home. It must be nice to not have to stress about money like I do. Your job is so much more stable than mine. Marketing isn't as reliable, you know." At first, I reassured him, told him it didn't matter, that we were a team, that I chose to be with him because I loved him, not because of his paycheck. That was mistake number one. Because after that, Jason started testing the waters. It started small, asking me to cover rent when he was a little short. Then it was his car payment. Then it was quitting his job altogether because he wanted to find something that made him happy. I should have seen the red flags then. But I told myself he just needed time, that he'd figure it out. He never did. If Jason was bad with money, his parents were worse. Frank and Barbara were the kind of people who lived beyond their means, but never took responsibility for anything. They had zero savings, mountains of debt, and a sense of entitlement that could fill a stadium. The first time they asked for money, it was just a small loan. "We just need help covering some bills this month. We'll pay you back soon." Family helps family, right? At the time, I didn't see the harm. I was making more than enough, and if Jason's parents needed a little help, why not? Big mistake. Because once they realized I was willing to give, they never stopped asking. "Our mortgage is late again. Dad's car broke down. We need help with medical bills." And every time, Jason would push me. "Come on, babe. It's not a big deal. You won't even notice the money is gone. You know my parents don't have anyone else to help them." So I kept giving, and giving, and giving, until one day, I looked at my finances and realized something horrifying. I had given his family over $200,000 in less than 4 years. It happened on a Sunday. We were at Jason's parents' house for dinner, and everything was fine, until his mother suddenly turned to me and said, "We need $50,000. Just like that. No explanation. No sugarcoating. Just an expectation that I would hand over more money like I always did. I stared at her. "For what?" She waved a hand like it didn't matter. "An investment opportunity." Jason chimed in. "It's a business thing, babe. Just help them out." I looked around the table. They weren't even asking anymore. They were expecting it. That's when something in me snapped. "No," silence. His mother frowned. His father scoffed. Jason gave me a look like I had just spit in his food. "Babe," Jason said slowly, "this is family. You can't just say no." "I just did," I said. "And I'm done." I stood up. Jason grabbed my wrist. "We need to talk. Now." Jason dragged me into his parents' home office and slammed the door. "What the hell was that?" he hissed. I said no, I repeated. "I've given your family enough. I'm not your personal ATM." His whole face changed. The loving husband I knew? Gone. In his place was someone cold. "You don't really have a choice," he said. I felt a chill go down my spine. "Excuse me?" Jason smirked. "If you won't help, I'll take everything you own." Before I could respond, his father walked in and slid a stack of papers across the desk. I picked them up. My stomach dropped. A divorce settlement agreement. And not just any agreement. One that would give Jason half of everything I owned. My house, my savings, my retirement fund. Everything. I looked up. Jason's parents were smiling. Jason leaned back like he had already won. "I had a lawyer drafted up," he said smugly. "If you're not going to be a team player, then I'll make sure you don't get to keep everything for yourself." I stared at him, then at his parents. And then I started laughing. Jason's smile faltered. "What's so funny?" I picked up the papers, flipped through them, and grinned. "You might want to read the fine print before you try to screw over a lawyer." Jason blinked. "What?" I pulled another stack of papers from my purse and slid them across the desk. "Read," I said. His father grabbed them first. His face turned red. Jason snatched them next. His hands started shaking. I crossed my arms. "Go ahead. Keep reading." Jason's eyes darted across the page. His jaw tightened. His hands gripped the papers so hard his knuckles turned white. His father was frozen, his mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. Jason's mother? She was the first to snap. "What the hell is this?" she screeched, snatching the document from his hands. I tilted my head, feigning innocence. "Oh, that," I said, my voice light. "That's what happens when you marry a lawyer without reading the paperwork." Jason swallowed. You tricked me." I laughed. "No, Jason." I protected myself. The room was dead silent except for the sound of Jason's father flipping through the pages, his face growing redder with each word. And then he slammed his fist on the desk. "You conniving little, careful," I cut in. "I'd hate for you to say something legally problematic." Jason's mother's voice went shrill. "This is unfair. You should have told Jason about this before you got married." I smiled. "I did." Jason's head snapped up. "You what?" "I gave you the prenup, Jason," I said, watching as his face twisted in confusion. "You signed it." He looked like he was about to argue. And then, I saw it. The exact moment he remembered. Years ago, before we got married, I had brought it up over dinner. Just a standard prenup, I had said. To protect both of us. Jason had waved it off, barely glancing at the papers. "Babe, we don't need that. We're a team." But I had insisted. "It's just a formality." And Jason, so confident in his own charm, had signed it without reading a single line. Now, years later, that blind trust was destroying him. Jason staggered back into the chair, looking like he had been punched in the gut. His father still wasn't done. He flipped to the last page and read aloud, his voice shaking with rage. "In the event of a divorce, all premarital and independently earned assets shall remain under the ownership of the original party." He looked up at Jason. "She gets everything." His mother screamed. Jason's head whipped toward me, his face red with fury. You really planned all this?" I shrugged. "I planned for the worst. You just became the worst." And then, just when I thought I had won, Jason did something I didn't expect. He dropped the papers onto the desk and took a deep breath. His panic was gone. And then, he smirked. My stomach twisted. "I'm not stupid," Jason said, leaning back in his chair. "I knew you'd pull something like this." I narrowed my eyes. "What are you talking about?" Jason's father smirked, too. "You really think we'd walk into this without a plan?" I suddenly felt uneasy. Jason leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees. "You've been so focused on keeping your money, you forgot one thing." His voice dropped into a mocking whisper. "You can't protect your reputation." I felt my pulse in my ears. "What?" Jason pulled out his phone, unlocked it, and turned the screen toward me. I froze. On the screen was an email draft, addressed to my law firm's ethics committee. I scanned the email. It was filled with lies. That I had coerced Jason into signing the prenup under duress. That I had hidden assets from him during our marriage. That I had used my legal connections to intimidate him. If sent, this could ruin my career. I met his gaze. "You wouldn't." Jason tilted his head. "Wouldn't I?" His mother beamed. His father chuckled. I realized, in that moment, that Jason wasn't just a coward. He was dangerous. He couldn't win legally, so now, he was trying to destroy me in every other way possible. And just like that, the game had changed. I knew what this meant. If that email got sent, my firm would have to investigate. Even if the accusations were false, even if I proved my innocence, it would still stain my name. I had less than 24 hours before Jason made his next move. And I had one chance to stop him. So I smiled, because Jason had no idea what was coming next. Jason was smiling. That smug, arrogant smirk that made my stomach turn. He thought he had me. The prenup had backed him into a corner, but now he had found another way to destroy me. The fake email accusing me of unethical legal practices sat open on his phone screen. His finger hovered just above the send button. He was daring me to stop him. I forced my expression to stay calm, but inside, my mind was racing. If Jason sent that email, my law firm would immediately launch an internal investigation. Even though I had done nothing wrong, just the whiff of misconduct could tank my career. I took a slow breath. He was bluffing. He had to be. Because if he wasn't, I needed a backup plan. I glanced at his parents. His father was watching me like a predator sizing up its next meal. His mother was practically vibrating with glee. They were enjoying this. They had planned this. That's when it clicked. This wasn't just Jason's idea. His parents were in on it, too. They wanted me gone. Because without me in the picture, Jason would get access to their real plan. I didn't know what it was yet, but I was going to find out. Before I could say anything, my phone vibrated in my pocket. I hesitated. Jason's smirk widened. "You better get that," he taunted. "Might be your boss calling to fire you already." I ignored him and pulled out my phone. My heart nearly stopped when I saw the name on the screen. Jason's side chick. I had discovered Melissa 6 months ago. Jason thought he was slick, but he was predictable. The late nights, the sudden work trips, the phone calls he always took in another room, classic cheating behavior. I never confronted him about her. Not because I was weak, but because I was waiting. Now, I had no idea why she was calling, but it had to be important. I answered. Melissa? Dead silence. Then, a shaky breath. I think you should know something, she whispered. Jason's smirk vanished. His mother frowned. Who is that? I ignored her. Melissa? What's wrong? Another shaky breath. I think I made a mistake, she stammered. Jason told me we were gonna have a life together, that you were gonna be out of the picture soon. He said I'd never have to worry about money again. That we'd have a house. That, she choked on a sob. But I just found out something. I think they're planning to leave the country. My entire body went cold. What? I whispered. Jason's father's expression flickered. His mother shifted uncomfortably. Melissa kept talking, her voice rapid and terrified. I overheard them, Jason and his parents. They said that once you were out of the way, they'd take everything and leave before the courts could do anything. They already bought the plane tickets. Oh, my God. Jason's mother's hand shot out, trying to snatch my phone. I dodged her. Melissa, when are they leaving? She hesitated. Then, quietly, tomorrow. I looked up slowly, locking eyes with Jason. His face was ashen. His father looked ready to kill someone. His mother's hands were shaking. So that was their plan. They weren't just trying to screw me over. They were going to take whatever money they could, flee the country, and leave me drowning in the legal mess they created. And if I had never gotten that call, I never would have known. Jason lunged for my phone. I was faster. I ended the call, shoved my phone into my pocket, and stepped back. Jason snapped. You're AF *ING BCH. Jason roared, knocking over the chair. You think you're so smart? His father grabbed his arm. Calm down. No. She ruined everything. Jason grabbed the papers off the table and threw them. I should have never married you. I should have, and then his mother broke. This is your fault, she screamed at Jason. You're the one who let her find out. Jason whirled on her. Me? This was your plan. Jason's father slammed his fist on the desk. Stop it, both of you. They were turning on each other. I should have been afraid. But I wasn't. I was winning. I straightened my shoulders. So, what's the plan now? Jason spun back toward me, chest heaving. You think this is over? He pointed a shaking finger at me. You're gonna regret this. I swear to God, I pulled out my phone again and hit record. Jason froze. Go ahead, I said, keeping my voice calm and steady. Say that again. His father grabbed his arm, yanking him back. His mother turned pale. I ended the recording. Let's see. Threats, fraud, a clear plan to flee the country before a legal case can be filed. I wonder what the authorities will think about this. Jason's mother gasped. You wouldn't. I smiled. Wouldn't I? Jason's father suddenly grabbed his wife's purse and dug through it. My heart pounded as he pulled out a thick envelope and threw it onto the desk. It burst open. Stacks of cash spilled across the surface. I stared. Oh my God. Jason's mother tried to grab it, but his father shoved her back. This is your fault, he bellowed. If we just kept our mouths shut, my brain was racing. That money, that wasn't theirs. Jason was trembling. I can fix this, he muttered. I can. I looked at him and finally saw him for what he really was. A pathetic, desperate con artist who thought he could play the game better than me. He was wrong. Jason turned for the door. I blocked it. Where do you think you're going? I asked, my voice cold. Jason hesitated. His parents were dead silent. Because they knew. I wasn't letting them walk away from this. Jason's body was rigid. His father's chest rose and fell heavily. His mother clutched her pearls, eyes darting between me and the spilled cash on the table. No one spoke. For the first time in this entire nightmare, Jason looked truly afraid. And that's when I realized something. Jason wasn't scared of losing me. He wasn't even scared of losing the money. He was scared of the consequences. He knew I had the upper hand. He knew I had evidence, his threats, their plan to flee the country, and now, a giant stack of cash that they clearly weren't supposed to have. I took a step forward, my voice low and steady. Where did that money come from? Jason's father answered before Jason could. Don't answer that. I turned to him. Let me guess. It's not exactly legal, is it? Jason flinched. His mother let out a nervous laugh. Don't be ridiculous. It's just savings. I scoffed. Savings? From where? You don't work. Your husband hasn't worked in years. And Jason, I turned to him, voice sharp, hasn't earned an honest dollar since I met him. Jason's mother's face twisted in rage. You ungrateful little, enough, Jason's father snapped. He looked at me, then at Jason. She knows too much. Fix this. Jason swallowed hard. Dad, fix it. That was when Jason made his biggest mistake yet. Jason's gaze darted to the phone in my pocket. He lunged. I was ready. I sidestepped just as he reached for me, and his momentum sent him crashing into the table. The stack of cash scattered to the floor. His father cursed. His mother screamed. I yanked my phone out and hit dial. Jason froze. His eyes darted to the screen. He saw the name. 911. His face turned ghost white. You wouldn't. I held the phone up. You already asked me that once, remember? Jason's father lunged forward to snatch the phone. Too late. The operator answered. 911? What's your emergency? I locked eyes with Jason. And I started talking. My name is redacted. I'm at address. My husband and his family have been attempting to extort me for money and are currently trying to flee the country with suspicious cash. I feel threatened. They've tried to physically intimidate me. I need officers sent immediately. Jason freaked out. Are you insane? He screamed, knocking over a chair. His father turned red with fury. You stupid little. Jason's mother broke down completely. She's ruining us. The operator's voice was sharp and clear. Ma'am, are you in immediate danger? I looked at Jason, chest heaving, hands clenching and unclenching. I looked at his father, muttering curses under his breath, eyes darting toward the door like he was considering making a run for it. Then, I looked at Jason's mother, crying, clutching her pearls, her carefully constructed world crumbling around her. I took a deep breath. And I said, I will be if you don't get here soon. The operator didn't hesitate. Officers are on their way. Stay on the line. Jason's father's eyes widened. You called the cops? Jason's mother gasped. Oh my God, Frank, what do we do? Jason panicked. We need to leave. Now. I stepped in front of the door. You're not going anywhere. The police arrived 15 minutes later, but to Jason and his family, it must have felt like a lifetime. By then, Jason had completely unraveled. His mother was sobbing. His father was stone-faced, already trying to work out a legal loophole in his head. But Jason? He just stared at me. Like he was seeing me for the first time. Like he was finally realizing what he had done. But by then, it was too late. The officers walked in, took one look at the situation, the scattered money, the fear on my face, the rage on theirs, and immediately separated us. Jason's father tried to talk his way out of it. Big mistake. Because when one of the officers found the burner phone with bank account transfers leading offshore, it was game over. Jason's mother tried to play the victim. Didn't work. Because I had recordings. Jason? He just sat there, watching as his world burned to the ground. And the moment they cuffed him, he finally broke. You did this to me, he whispered, his voice shaking. I looked him dead in the eyes. No, Jason. I leaned in, lowering my voice to a whisper. You did this to yourself. Jason and his father were arrested for fraud, attempted extortion, and money laundering. Turns out, that mystery cash? They had been running a fake investment scheme, taking money from desperate people under the promise of a big return. And they planned to skip the country before it all collapsed. Jason's mother? She avoided jail time but lost everything. Their house, their social status, their money, it was all gone. And Jason? He tried to call me from jail. I never answered. Because by then, I was long gone. I sold the house, moved states, and built a new life for myself. No more leeches. No more lies. No more Jason. I used to think love meant sacrifice. That being in a marriage meant always having your partner's back, even when things got hard. But now? Now, I know better. Love doesn't mean being used. It doesn't mean being manipulated. And it sure as hell doesn't mean funding someone else's delusions while they plot to destroy you. Jason thought he could take everything from me. But in the end, I took everything from him. And I have zero regrets.